Okay. And we are live. Are you there,
Yeah,
sis?
I'm here. Can you see me?
Awesome. I do. I do. Hello, hello, beautiful people. This is Coach Lacresha, aka M Rain, and my sister, Eclectic Crystal, and we're here to have a late night, or rather late night goddess chat. And tonight's topic is gonna be about self-abandonment and how to get over it. So
Mhm.
my sister came to me with this idea, and as we were discussing it, I was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what we need to be talking about." She's absolutely right. So tonight, you guys, just line up. It's gonna be going down. Since you'll take over, while I actually let some people know we're live.
Yeah, I got to do the same thing when you're done.
Okay.
So I can't see who's on if anybody's on yet. But so we're so glad to have you here. My sister already told you I'm Eclectic Crystal, also known as Witchworks. But on my YouTube, I am Eclectic Crystal Intuitive Guide. And so, yeah, so the other day, I had a bit of an experience when I was doing a haul to get some things for my website and some things just in general for my altar room. And I was in the store and I came across an altar for Elegua. And, generally when I see something I want it. But then, I always had this habit of how much is it first? And so I asked the guy how much it was, and the guy told me that it was like $150 or something like that. And my initial thought was like, oh my gosh, I can't get that. I got to pay this. I got to pay that. I got to go buy this. And I realized in that moment, because I heard Elegua say to me, stop doing that to yourself. Um, and I just went on. I already had like two bags. Look, I had two baskets of stuff, y'all, and I already had so much stuff. And initially that's how our human mind thinks first.
Right.
Having an experience, even though I went in my spiritual mind to do a certain thing, I went in with a certain intention. In that instant, my human self took over and was like, now damn well you got to go buy this, that, and the third. You can't spend this, that, and the third on that. And so getting to the register and hearing the Legua say that to me, I realized that I had been doing that to myself for years. And it wasn't just making a purchase. It was how many other things had I said to myself, you got to go take
Wow.
that person first. You got to go buy that for that person first. Or, you got to go here for my son to do this first, or my daughter to do that, or my husband to do this. And then everything that I had planned to do just for myself either didn't get done, or I pushed it on the back burner and said I'll deal with it another day.
Wow.
And so, right. And so we can become very stuck right there in that place. And that's not a good place to be, simply because when you self-abandon, and here's the thing that I explained to my sister, many of us or deal with or have dealt with abandonment issues from family members, from friends, or what have you. We deal with rejection. Now,
Right.
knowing what rejection and abandonment is. But you have to know that if you have experienced that type of behavior in your life, that you're going to do it to yourself because it's being done to you. So that is a natural reaction to do the very thing probably hurts you. We do it to ourselves because we feel like, well, it must be okay because it happens so much. We become accustomed to that.
Right.
Instead of learning how to so this ego thing, me and my husband have been having many conversations about the ego, and knowing that the ego is an entity within itself. And we need the ego. There are times that
Right.
we need it. You have to know when to use that, though. And so a lot of times we get caught up in that ecosystem. I'm gonna say it like that, in that ecosystem,
Right.
and we lose the very essence of ourselves because we are so busy worried about what this person would think of us if we don't do this for them, or what this person would think of us if we don't say what they want to hear. And what you are doing is you are walking out on the truth of who you are. And so I felt like this was a really necessary topic. And then after reading the experience that my sister had early in the AM with a client from doing what I like to call pro bono, from doing some pro bono work, um, that to me was like a real direct reflection of every reason why we needed to do this video.
Right.
Because in my opinion, I'm gonna say it, let me put that disclaimer. In my opinion, like that is absolutely the abandonment of yourself that you would think to get up at 5 in the morning and call someone
Right.
that has extended or offered themselves, their services, and their powers to assist you at no cost to you. To do something like that is very selfish, and that is a moment of you want to take so here's the thing, because you've been dealing with abandonment for so long, you just want to take yours at whatever time, whatever cost.
Right.
Hell no. No, it's not. Well, now the light bulb has clicked on in your head and you realize I've been fucking over myself, so shit, I got to get some shit out, and I'm gonna call her at 5:30 or 5 something in the morning, and I'm gonna tell her no. See, that's the realization that you should have came to at that person who was abandoning you. You should have called that person at 5 something in the morning and wanted to vent. That's how that's supposed to go. See, oftentimes we dump our shit or we go to the toilet on other people, not really realizing what we're doing. We don't even realize the energy that we're putting out to that person. We
Right.
don't realize how much we are taking and absorbing off of that person's energy. And it becomes a deep situation because it snowballs and it spirals and it goes and it goes and it goes. So sometimes unconsciously we don't think about that. And we don't think about what we're doing, not just to ourselves, but to the other person who's on the receiving end of that. This is like really necessary. I think that a lot of people are just simply not even aware that that's a thing, self-abandonment, because I've never really heard, people talk about it or discuss it, but it's a real thing. And I think that until it's put out in the atmosphere, people will
Yeah.
continue to do it because it's not something that's thought of. You know what I mean?
You know, it's funny that you bring that up because one of the hold on. One of the issues that I've seen happen a lot, and I've been doing this a long time and have dealt with a lot of different people. One of the issues is that when people are babies, when we're born, we look to our parents to teach us what is normal, what is to be expected. And I left it in there because it was echoing. And so when we do that, it's like, and they don't do what they're supposed to do, or our first love doesn't do what they're supposed to do, people will teach us without us realizing that they're teaching us what we're worth. It's a time thing.
Right.
Like as an adult, now you are responsible for how you think. But there was a time when you wasn't solely responsible for how you think. So
Mm-hmm.
if the people who were responsible for molding you failed you, then you learn to treat yourself and think of yourself from those subtle clues. It didn't have to be. A lot of people, when they hear that, they think, oh, I wasn't abused or anything. Like my mom and my dad gave us the best of everything, but it could have been small things like the day you fell off your bike and scraped your knee. Nobody was there, you know? And so you
Right.
started thinking, nobody's going to come to my aid when I'm hurting,
Mm-hmm.
because that happened one too many times. Or times when you were really hungry, but you had to wait for hours because it wasn't time to eat yet. And you might have learned to ignore your body's cries for whatever it needs, not just food, whatever it needs. And you got to a place of
Mm-hmm.
learning to be okay with being uncomfortable. So
Right.
it's not always, daddy abused me and mama abandoned me or neglected me. Sometimes it's real subtle and it changes it because babies are basically blank computers. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? So, but now, even having said that, because one of the things I love that you said, because talking about that situation I just went through, it's like people who were not properly taught how to be respectful, how to be loving, how to be thoughtful. Because I'm gonna tell you something, you're never gonna be able to love or be more thoughtful toward anybody else than you are for yourself. And some of us, we think we are because in our mind we're doing so much more than anybody ever done for us.
Yep.
But you got to understand what you do is only half of the issue, half of the vibration. What you're feeling, the thought and the energy behind the action is the other half. And so people can sense when it's not sincere or when you're trying to do whatever you're trying to do to I guess pull something back from them, like the person, like in a relationship, one person might say I love you, why do I have to say it back every time you say it? That make me feel as if, and probably it's the truth, you only saying it because you really want to hear it. You're not saying it because you actually are so in love with me. You need to hear me say it. So you
Mm-hmm.
put it out there like, I'm gonna be your friend, I'm gonna help you pay your light bill. But in the background of that, now you need my help for 5 years now. You did one thing one time, and now you think I owe you
You let
forever.
me live
And so,
down.
yeah, it's like, come on now, I understand this is about you. You trying to get whatever you can, however you can. And you don't realize
Mm-hmm.
that having that mentality, you're further victimizing yourself because the person that would love you and be good to you, you're hurting them.
Right.
So it's a
That's
trip.
true.
It's really a trip. It gets deep too.
It does. And this could we can't. I know that we won't get to do like the whole understanding of this in one night because this
No.
subject could go on and it could go
Oh God. It
like this could really. But here's the thing. Here's one eye opener. If you grew up in a one parent household and with some abandonment issues,
yes,
and
you are.
some people have
100%.
lied to themselves for so damn long that they like, oh no, child, I'm good. I loves me. Bullshit. You are dealing with some abandonment issues like no other because there was one parent missing. So you don't know what it's like to have that opportunity, presence of that mother or that father that was missing, or even a grandparent or even a sibling. I mean, how many siblings rival? That in
Oh
itself
my gosh.
because that sibling is not giving you something that you desire from them. I'm saying it goes so deep. Let's go a little deeper than that, sis. How about some
Okay.
kids you have, okay,
Oh,
that you don't really get along with? And I'm here's the thing. I'm not speaking for, and I said this in one of our other videos, y'all. I'm not speaking. None of the topics that we talk about is things that we have not experienced ourselves. Okay. So just know that anything that we discussing is something that was a trial and error that we went through, that we had to die from and come back alive from. Okay. Let me just tell y'all that I have my oldest child will be 22. I tell you how our relationship was just not the best. And as a mother, and that's my firstborn, and especially if you have multiple kids and you have an issue, you and your firstborn are doing this right here, that's some abandonment for your ass. If you don't want to believe it, then I don't know what to tell you. Either you need to come off this video, go to the bathroom and woosah, and then come back in. Because I dealt with some serious issues. I dealt with some serious emotional abandonment because I felt like my child did not love me. The same way because we was doing this. So in order, there's some work that had to be done, and it wasn't my son, it was me.
hmm.
I had to do that work in order to get myself in a place where I could not treat him in an abandoned fashion because I've been abandoned. But now you act like you don't like me. So now I got this up like, hold up, buddy. Let's be
Yeah.
real. Here's the thing. It's time to stop lying to yourself. Because if you at this video, there's somewhere you have sat down and you thought or prayed or meditated and said to yourself, something got to change. I'm tired of
Right.
this. So you cannot keep of the fence. Either you want to be in the truth of yourself and fix that, or either you want to do the ego thing and you want to hear some shit that sound good just for the moment. And then when this video over with, you're going to go and finish doing your ego shit. Like, you can't do both. You either going to get your shit together and elevate into your goddess self and say, you know what, I got some real shit in me. Because guess what? It's not about everybody else. That's what we do in the ego. It's everybody else's fault.
Right.
Not ours. Right. So now it's time to start taking responsibility for what you contributed to your abandonment. Now, that is not to say, because I know I can hear people, I already hear it. I hear people saying it. Well, I was just a child. What responsible for that? No, as a child, you're not responsible for that. But at the age that you understand it, you are very responsible for continuing to live and wallow in that, or to change, fix, and elevate from it.
Right.
Lesson and fix within yourself the very thing that you have adapted so that you don't do it to somebody else. That's the difference.
Right. You know, here's the thing, guys. I think this is the part that we often make it's like we as people have our priorities kind of backwards. It's like, you know, first I need to make enough money to pay for my house and my car and make sure my kids are fed. And then, you know, and you think, okay, as soon as I get me a house and as soon as I get me a car and I get the insurance and I get food in the house, then I'm gonna be able to do it. But then once you get all that stuff, then it becomes about maintaining that stuff, because then it's the lights and the water and the gas and the insurance. And then after that, it becomes about all the extra stuff you got to do at your job. And so you are so far down that list. And so you go through all of these situations and all of this hardship, and it feel like life just beating you upside the head. And you keep trying to figure out, like, you know, this is the kind of arguments we have, guys, with our spouses and our family and different things. It's like, I do everything I can for you. I go to work every day, blah, blah, blah. I clean up this whole house. I'm always cooking. I'm always this, that, and other. Why do you keep doing this to me? Why don't you respect my time? Why can't you do these things for yourself? I mean, who am I preaching to? Who have not had that argument? Even with our kids, the same thing. It's like, I raised you, I gave you life, but I did this and I did that. And it becomes a constant thing for you having to always remind the people in your life of everything that you've had to do for them, and you begging them to make you a priority, but they don't know how to make you a priority. Now, that's the truth. Every time it's not that the people outside of us that's taking advantage of us are bad. Sometimes they really don't know, because they don't really know how to approach a person who's trying to save the whole world and ignore themselves. It's kind of like, well, shit, you know, what can I do for you, really? It's like, if I try to help, it's no, I got it. And then, you know, when I say, okay, and then you're like, hey, you should try to help me. Okay, I just tried that. You know, sometimes we don't even realize what kind of stuff we put other people through when we are on a mission to ignore ourselves. It's a mission for some people. They got to fill every moment with activity, with noise, with something, because they're afraid of just sitting with themselves, because they've learned to dislike themselves so much. Or they've learned to think that they're not worth anything, so they have to do all these extracurricular activities. They try to be the soccer mom, the perfect wife, perfect employee, the perfect. And it's just like, first of all, you're not, and you're going to see that as you're maneuvering. It's like, dear gummit, and it becomes a competition to become the best at whatever it is. And at the end of it, no matter how good you get, it doesn't satisfy, because you have not learned to accept you in in whatever state you're in, because you're never going to be perfect enough to love yourself. Right. So you have to choose to just love yourself anyway.
Right where you at.
Right where you at. That's it.
Yeah. And the funny thing is just last night, what we talking about, I had that same experience, because as a mother, as a wife, as a business owner, just as an intuitive, as an empath, I already am an absorber. I'm an observer and an absorber. And I was expressing to my husband how I need just one night, just give me one night of full sleep. But here's the thing, like my sister just said, I can't expect for everybody else around me to know what I need or what my needs are when I walk around here like I'm taking care of all the needs. I
Right.
mean, okay. In that, yes, I felt like, okay, well, you get to sleep. I need to sleep just one night. Just give me
Mhm.
24 hours.
Right.
But at the same time, taking myself back or taking back the energy that I keep spilling, just randomly spilling it for no damn reason, is where I am with myself.
Hmm.
That's not anybody else's issue. That's a Witchworks issue. Witchworks has to learn how to say no. I don't have that kind of energy to do that, or Witchworks just has to in perspective and balancing myself out.
Right.
Okay. Now, if in the process of that, other people see, oh, let me give you a break. Okay, that's all fine and good. But just to expect that people understand and know that, and expect for people to understand and know that, because nobody works for Miss Cleo. Matter of fact, Miss Cleo not even in business no more. So, point that you start to feel like other people should acknowledge what your needs are, that means that you haven't acknowledged what your own needs are.
Right.
That's a real deep thing. You cannot want people to do for you what you ain't even doing for yourself. That's why it's so hard for other people to know what it is you need. I realize that. I
That's
realize that.
one of Latoya said that she's dealing with healing now. She was like, because she spent the last 20 years in two unhealthy relationships, taking more crap than any sane person, more shit. And then and she was also talking about well, no, Tawanda said that society has taught us not to put ourselves first, which is actually counterproductive. And they were saying about the superwoman syndrome. And Sierra mentioned the fact that it's just not anybody else's job to make us a priority. We have to prioritize ourselves. And that's so absolutely true, you guys.
You have to prioritize. And here's the thing, it goes back to some prior or previous videos that we did in regards to talking about I think we were dealing with the piece about necessarily homeschooling but programming. That's a part
Yes, I
of
remember that.
programming. And so understanding a lot of here's what I understand, a lot of parents cannot dedicate the time to homeschool their kids. But I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to tell you that you should do that. I'm going to tell you that you should understand what that really means or what it
Right.
is. Because conditioning starts right there. Your children are not taught to be educated. Your children are taught to be conditioned and programmed. Let's just look now. There was a time when you could go to school and wear whatever you want. That is no longer. Almost every school now has a uniform. They just stepped up the conditioning.
Right. Didn't
You
they?
learn. Hmm?
I said, and didn't they though?
Okay, they
And people
did
thought
that.
that was cool.
They
No, it's
did
not
that
cool.
too. Well, here's the thing. They let y'all get a little bit of y'all ego in there because they let y'all, you can wear whatever shoes you want. So you got kids walking around here with $300 shoes who have no understanding of what responsibility is, what is for real. They understand what money means because you teaching it to them. You buy them $200 shoes while they walking around in a uniform that the government told you got to wear. If
Mm-hmm.
that's not slavery, if that's not conditioning, if that is not programming, to tell you, and there's no other way to break that down. But it's almost like people ignore that, or they don't want to see that you are sending your child to school to be conditioned to operate like a machine for
Yeah,
somebody else. That's what you're
that's
doing.
exactly right.
You understand what I'm saying? So just understand that when you sending your child, you getting them dressed up in that government uniform, them colors or whatever it is. When you doing that, just understand that that's what you're doing. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong for it because I have done that. I just
Yeah.
realized that as I elevated, I don't want to do that no more because I'm doing my children a disservice by telling them you gotta do this. Telling them they gotta do. That's what somebody else said they gotta do. And I'm walking
Yeah.
around Like I'm the biggest promoter. I'm promoting this bullshit saying, you know, you got to go to school. You got to do this. You got to get an education. Yeah, you got to have knowledge. You absolutely do. You need to understand what's happening around you. But that bullshit, that other extra outside stuff that they teaching you in school has nothing to do with learning spirituality. It has nothing to do with learning your sovereignty. It has nothing to do with learning.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
You got a point. It's like it's this system, okay, we often call it a matrix because that was, I mean, that movie really brought that term all the way out. But let me explain something else to you. Okay, your womb is an actual matrix. It's a matrix of creation. Matrix, you could also say program, okay, or modality. It's other words you could use other than matrix for this system that we live in. Okay, systems has to have controls. I'm not a computer programmer, but I've been around enough of them to learn a little bit of the lingo. So they have controls set up to actually dictate what a computer will and won't do and how to fix and reroute stuff. You already know if you've ever had to have your computer worked on, or if you've ever thought about why does this thing keep doing it. It's a built-in control or built-in mechanism that if certain things happen, this is what's going to kick in and what's going to happen with this computer. Okay, well, that happens with us, and it starts the very moment we take our first breath. Now, I want you to understand this, guys, because you got to think about self-abandonment and how to get over it. First of all, there is not a person, because some of you are talking about single parenting on the list and just different things like that and what children need. There is no way to come into this earth and avoid a certain amount of programming, right? However, right, if you know that you're going to have to endure this and see this, like for instance, I was in some city or another, I can't remember where I was, but I literally started counting how many naked women or half naked women or how much sexual material was used in the marketing stuff, even on the side of the bus. It was just effing ridiculous, really. So you're going to see the programming. But if you know that it's there, then it behooves you to know how to become a person to debug the program or deprogram yourself, deprogram your children. Like a lot of people right now, they're waking up and they're so busy waking up that they're not thinking about that you have a perfect, because you have 4 kids and you're doing all this study, but you're not teaching them any of it, and it does you no good to wake up just to see your children lost. You know what my son did today? And I don't have a baby, y'all. He's 26. But I raised him mostly in the church because I was a preacher. Today, he did his own first spell. He been had his altar for a long time. He be doing his own burnings. He been manifesting like a boss or whatever. Today, he created his own spell, and I could not be prouder. Now, it might be a whole bunch of people that at that very moment they hear that, it's like, oh my gosh, she going to hell and she taking her son with her. Well, you know what? Okay, he was
you create your own hell, honey. You ain't that ain't a place.
Okay. He was given to me, and the Most High knew who I am, everything that I would be, every moment in between. None of this is a surprise. I am created in the image of the Most High. And that child was sent through my matrix because what I am and what I teach him is what he needs. We chose one another for that purpose. So when it comes to deprogramming, not only do you have to do it, you got to learn how to do it for your children. Because right now, if you think about it, would you really want your child to endure? And I don't know how we got on parenting, y'all, but would you really want your child to endure the pain that you have? It's like, it's one thing.
That's how we got on it.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, well, we're going to go with that too, because kids go through it. And if we can stop our kids, that's it. But this is another thing. You can't save your child while you're still in bondage.
Okay.
Ooh, you got to get free first. You got to get free first, because they ain't trying to hear that you just preaching to them and they can't see none of it in your life. It's like, show me something.
That's so true. That is so true. So yeah, we did kind of, not that it really is not getting off the topic. That's why I said this topic could really go on.
So many different. We probably need to do a
It,
series.
yeah, it's like at the moment that you accept other people's beliefs, you have abandoned yourself. Because, and here's the thing, like my sister, I too have been in the church. I was an armor bearer, y'all, for almost 20 years. Just an armor bearer. See, here's the thing, much like spirituality is never ending. Religion has an end, but they create this falseness of you got to do this for this long before you can elevate to this. Now, so for almost 20 years, I was just an armor bearer. That was not me being a minister. That was not me being a pastor. And then I stepped up into being a minister, and then I became a pastor. Okay.
Hmm.
I lived a life for a long time, and I
Right.
abandoned myself for a long time. And why I say I abandoned myself in that process is because everything that I felt and believed in my spirituality that did not resonate with Christianity, I put it on the back burner, and I dealt in Christianity because that's what was acceptable according to society and the matrix that we live in. So that right there is an
Amen.
abandonment within itself, which leaves us in a place as African Americans, because we are the only culture of people who don't know who the hell we are. It leaves us not knowing who we are. So you didn't abandon your own self because you too busy taking on somebody else's characteristics or what people told you that you are based on here in school.
Mm.
When we say, not just us, not just the goddesses of the divine sacredness, when you hear people say you have to unlearn everything that you have ever learned, that is not a
Girl.
lie.
No.
Understand this. In case you did not know, your laptop, your phone, your watches, they all have crystals. How do you think they make them work? They have to
Right.
retain information, okay?
Girl,
So,
I was telling somebody that earlier.
yes.
Hmm.
Why you think your watches are called quartz? Come on now, let's get it together. Because they put the clear crystal quartz. It retains information, okay? It retains data.
Right.
When things go wrong, possibly, now I'm not going to say this is so, but possibly that crystal then went into an overload because we trying to tap too much information in there all at one time. You know how you can open up multiple windows on your computer? Saying
Right.
you are a crystal yourself. So just imagine, let's just put that together in the same process. You are a crystal yourself. You retain information. You are nothing but one big human computer. Okay?
Hmm.
You have to get to a point where you understand that you are being taught stuff. You're not downloading on your own. Okay? So you have abandoned the whole process of your own process. That's where we're going with this.
That sound like that'll preach.
Well, don't make me get the phlegm in my throat because I can do it now.
Oh my God, right?
You
That
have
was so
abandoned,
funny. Oh
yes, you
God,
have abandoned the
girl.
whole process of your own process because know that everything that you learn from the day you come out of your mother's womb, honey. Let's go all the way back there. Yes, I'm getting ready to go into preacher mode. Okay, let's go all the way back there. Saying something about kids, children. When they first come here, and all the way up until about the age of 6, children still are in that they are not yet quite, they have not developed egos, and they have not developed habits of their own. They have developed our habits because we taught it to them. Okay, they
Mhm.
know when they born, when they come out your womb, the only thing they want to do is eat and sleep, eat and
Yeah,
sleep.
that's
I need to replenish myself so I can go back home and keep getting my downloads. But what do we do? It's time to get up. You got to eat. So we stop in their process and pour into them our process. That's where,
Mhm.
here's the thing, that's the very beginning of abandoning because you are teaching them to abandon where they came from and everything that they know and come on into this matrix, come on into this lie. Let me tell you, let me teach you what we supposed to do. We supposed to get up at this time. We supposed to eat at this time. No, that's really not. Here's the thing: it's very hard for people to understand. I gotta let all that go. All of that was a lie. Yes, you have to let that go.
Mhm.
If you if you ever intend to really grow in your divinity and your spirituality, you got to let that go. Bottom
Yeah.
line, you got to
Yeah.
start all over again. Here's the thing, it's no different than getting a job and deciding I want to get another job, making more money. Well,
Right.
I was in one organized religion, and I realized that that was fake. So I want to go further, and I want to learn everything that I can learn about spirituality. So I'm gonna leave that and go to something else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do something. It's no different.
Yeah. It's not. It's really not. It's really not. You know, if you people your brain is the most um I don't know, it's the most technology that you have ever encountered is really you, not all the things outside of you. Even though sometimes these smartphones make me feel a certain kind of way, I'll be like, oh, so that's how that works. Because it took me a long time, y'all, to learn how to do screenshots, right? But even so, I stand by my original statement that your brain is the highest technology, right? So a lot of times people don't quite understand how the brain works. And when they're trying to reprogram or they're trying to deprogram or they're trying to get free from some paradigm, a paradigm is a mindset that controls your life. Your mindsets as children and on up is built by others, but even as adults it also is. That's why it becomes dangerous to put up with something even one or two times or three or four times or five or six times, because you're teaching yourself, conditioning yourself. Okay, because here's the thing.
That's a good point.
Let's talk about abuse, right? Because I seen somebody posted earlier about abuse. Okay, so what happens, this is generally the statement that's always made. Well, I thought he loved me. Well, he not gonna do it again. We defend our abuser because it's been so good up until that first time that he smacked you, or in me case that she smacked you. It was real good up until that point. So now it's kind of like, you know what? I know that he loved me, and the good feeling supersedes this, and he crying because you know what? Men, the first time they hit a woman, it seems like it's in the male playbook. They always cried after the first time. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did that. Right. So if you don't really leave that Negro, that ninja, right then, he might cry time number two, but by time number three, this joker used to it. Like, you said, what? Oh, girl, I was ready. Oh, you said I was handsome. You better say that stuff like you mean it. I mean, you teaching them to beat you. And I'm making it kind of funny, but we really are guilty of this. And so we say, well, it ain't no perfect people. I should be able to just forgive him or her for beating me. I should be able to just forgive him or her for cheating on me. I should be able to just forgive him or her for lying on me. Well, yeah, you should forgive them. But to stay and enable that behavior over and over and over, they are no longer guilty. You are guilty. You are guilty of hurting
You had to
yourself,
say,
neglecting your needs, being untrue to what you really feel, because you really don't want to be treated that way, but you allow it because you're afraid to be completely without this person. And honestly, you don't believe that it's better out there. And you also, if you do believe it, you don't believe you deserve it or better won't want you. All these paradigms, all these mind states that's going on all at one time. All of the stuff is coming back. God forbid you came from a family where violence was normal. It's just like, oh, niggas hit that woman. That's all right. I'll be his bitch. It's like, you remember it was a time when you used to slap somebody for calling you a bitch. Did you just call yourself one? And then you constantly call your man a nigga. Like, is that what you really think of him? You know what I'm saying? Is that really your nigga, or is that your king? You know, it's like it's all here. And so when you stop, you gotta stop. See, that's where people mess up at. They want to heal on the go. It don't work like that. You're gonna have to stop and deal with you. You know,
mm-hmm,
am I afraid of being alone? Am I afraid of being successful?
mm-hmm.
Am I afraid of discovering that everything I've always believed is a lie? Not just religiously and spiritually, but everything I've thought about myself. Because, Lord forbid, we hate to think about the fact that every pain that we've shed all of a sudden is our own fault. That we
Mm-hmm.
really can't even blame the people who lied, cheated, stole. We can't blame the people who told all our business and everything else because that was all a projection of what was already going on inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
So to stop that's going on outside of you, you got to change what's inside of you. Your paradigm has to shift. And I mean a full shift. You got to jump
Mm-hmm.
dimensions. You got to jump frequencies. That's the only way to save yourself. You can run all over this country and 5 to 6 more countries. Your butt can go all the way to the Amazon where there's barely any people, and you will still find a no good ninja over there waiting on you because the paradigm has not changed. And if it ain't no bad men over there, you will turn him into one. I've
True.
seen women do it, and men. I have.
And then, now here's the thing. Let's break down the word nigga real quick. And listen, let me say this. It has been referenced as a bad word. Why? I wonder if somebody could really answer that question before I give the answer. Is it somebody that can answer the question? Why is it? Because here's the thing: the word nigga is not a bad word.
Right.
Let's get this clear real quick. It's not a bad word because if you find out the origins of it and how it even came to be, that we use it in a general context, referencing a person or their behavior, then you might change what you think about the word for a second.
Right.
So, is there anybody? I'm gonna give a few minutes to see if somebody can answer that question before I go into that.
Okay.
Just real
I'm
quick, because
looking.
I'm gonna drop a jewel on y'all real quick about that word. And guess what? We'll start using it differently.
Sierra said, negus, niggas.
That's one. Good, Sarah. I'm glad because a lot of people don't know about that word and what it means and where it
Denise,
came
oh,
from.
Denise Robinson said the same one, the same word. They
Okay.
chimed in.
So now that's above a lot of people's I'm gonna say it like this, that's above a lot of people's pay grade
I
to
knew
go
you was
that
gonna
far.
say it.
So I'm gonna drop down a dimension for some of those, okay, just so that they can
Okay.
get the for real. Let's just take a look at the map. Let's go to the continent of Africa. There's a little state in there, nigger, okay. During slavery
Yeah.
time, the Europeans was going over to the continent of Africa. We know this. We know that story. So let's just get through the chase. They took that word because we are black and it means black word and used it in a negative way. They put a negative intention to the word, okay? And because they did that and then they put the label on us,
Hmm.
we are referenced, we are looked at, and we are projected as that.
Man.
But that word is royalty. That word is beauty. That word is love. That word is everything that they told us that it wasn't is what that word means. So when we reference the word nigga, we ain't gotta say ninja. We can say the word intention. Listen, because the intention that we are putting on it is not the intention that it was given. You got to take back the power. That's the thing. See, they took the power, but when
Mhm.
you put it back, guess what you do? You shut up a whole bunch of people, and they looking
Yeah.
at you like, well, shit,
Want to
that bitch
find a
is
different
educated.
word now?
Look, I'm gonna use the word. Look, I'm gonna use the word. That bitch is educated. That's the first word we use. That bitch is educated.
Mhm.
Okay. Then you want to break down the word bitch for real? I
Oh
mean, like
God. There she
words
go.
hold a lot of power. Because I was fine. Me and my girlfriends used to call each other that all the time, and it was a term of endearment. That's
Mhm.
the tripped out thing. It was a term of endearment, and I can be a bitch when I want to be. But
Yeah.
what's the intention behind the time that I'm being a bitch? Am I being a bitch and I'm being a bitch in my manifestations and I'm gonna make this shit is gonna be popping? Or am I being a bitch and I'm being negative? That's the difference. Because we associate, here's the thing in the dictionary, a bitch is a female dog. So how in the world did that word get an intention and for it to be used the way that we use it?
Right.
Now here's the thing. We all know that we're magical beings. But because we have abandoned the essence of who we are energetically, everything is negative in this matrix.
Yeah,
Everything is
yep,
negative
yep.
in this matrix. But we're back into it and change the intention behind it. Something.
Yep, intention is
Intention
everything.
is everything. A lot of people don't realize that. You understand what I'm saying?
Tawanda brought up the word Naga, Naga. She said that was one too. And she was also going further into the Niger about them adding the G to it and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'll say this much too, because that does go along with abandonment. I was
It,
watching I'm scrolling my Facebook timeline and they had something and it was a black person sitting there rubbing themselves with it. It was literally rubbing the color off of them and making them whiter with the water running on it. Some of you probably have seen that it's some new product that's supposed to whiten the skin and you literally, it's just like a
oh
soap.
yeah, I have seen that.
You saw it, okay, and
I
it
did see that.
tripped me out, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I remember a time when I wanted to be darker. When I was in college, it was this chocolate, perfect chocolate girl. And I was like, why couldn't I look like that? You know, somewhere like one side or the other. I'm right down in the middle, but I always wanted that deep chocolate skin. You know what I mean? And so it was like, I can't imagine when you're left to abandon yourself. It's like, and we're not talking about wearing a little makeup or wearing a little bit of weaves or wigs or even if you feel inclined to get a boob job or a butt job. We're not talking about that. We're talking about things deeper than that. When you want to change your color, when you want to change how you speak, not because you want to sound educated as much as it is you don't want to seem like everybody else that's your color. You want to be
Right.
more accepted by outside, and I don't know how this came up, but you want to be more accepted by outside races. Like, okay, like Tiger Woods is a perfect example. He, to me, he's the poster boy. I remember when he first got great, because I'm old enough to remember that so
Uh-huh.
clearly. And
He
they
was a little
said,
girl.
you know, you're a black man. And how does it feel to be a black man and to, you know, dominate in golf the way that you do? He says, I'm not black. I'm Kablasian. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, part of my language,
Goodness.
I was like, Kablasian, that must be a new thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never even heard of that. I was young at the time. I had to go look it up, and I'm like,
Oh, what is
okay,
that? Cambodian, black, and Asian?
yeah,
What is
black and
that? Is that what that
Asian.
means?
Yeah,
You need to do that.
girl. I said, if you don't stop, and I think it's Korean, not just regular Asian, Korean and black. It was just,
Uh,
yeah, it was weird. And so, and then so he goes and he marries a white woman. You know what? I'm beyond the point of judging what kind of person a person lay up with. That's your business. I don't care what you do in your bedroom. Your bedroom business is yours. Keep it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Okay, but it's like, so he goes and marries a white woman and he does all these things and he's very adamant about not being black, not realizing that, son, you are in America in a white man's sport. At that time, even white people would admit that they considered that a white sport. And
right.
you have nigger blood. That's how they see it. Okay. And you run around like you different, like that Dave Chappelle skit where he was the worst Ku Klux Klan in the world with his blind ass and didn't realize he was black. And Daniel wanted to die when he found out. He was the main one talking about hang the nigger. You the nigger, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so he did all of that and then he all of a sudden got a problem. And when he had a problem, they blew it all the way out of proportion. The Negro cheated. Okay, who
Mm-hmm.
don't? You know what I'm saying? He is
Right.
not the first, won't be the last. That's what people do when they don't have character. Okay, but they blew it
Yeah.
out the water, and his wife took him for a big portion of what he had. And it was
Mm-hmm.
always supposed to be like that because most of what we think is just happenstance is already planned out.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like
Mm-hmm.
you gotta realize that the only way for anybody to defeat that which is undefeatable, the only way that you can break that which is unbreakable is to get it to believe that it is truly breakable, that it is truly defeatable, to get it to separate from the source of its strength, For me, the source of my strength is, for one, my ancestors. For a second, well, really, I ain't gonna put them in order, but for my ancestors, the Most High, who I am as a Black woman, all of that. If you start getting me to deny any part of that or to abandon any part of that, you have me in a place now where I am conflicted because my words don't match my reality as it
Mm-hmm.
stands. And now you can infiltrate me and destroy me from within. It's a game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really
Yeah.
an intelligent game. It's just that the cars, the houses, the clothes, the bags, the red bottom shoes, and all of that stuff is thrown at you to keep you distracted. And then the real perfect family thing commercials, you know how they do. Oh, basically make you feel like if I ain't got time to dance and hop and skip, in front of a big ass house with two nice vehicles with my kids, I'm failing as a parent. And it's just like, if I'm gonna have the big house, I can't have time for my kids. And if I'm gonna have time for my kids, I'm gonna lose my house. All of
Mm-hmm.
that confusion, noise. It's like, shh. You remember them old TVs that used to go out there?
Uh-huh.
And it was just that
Come on.
shh. It drowns out the realness that you need to grab a hold to. I don't want this program. I don't want anybody actually controlling me from afar. I'm nobody's puppet. And I don't have to keep living based upon where I come from, because where I come from don't mean a damn thing, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's where I am right now, because right now you are presently powerful, not future powerful, past powerful, presently, right now powerful. And what
Mm-hmm.
I want to live tomorrow, I damn sure don't want it to be what I done lived through yesterday. So something got to change.
Mm-hmm.
World.
Right.
Not at least until
Mm.
I change myself.
Now you made two good points. The first one, let's blow your mind one more again. The TVs from back in the
Oh,
when after what was it, midnight or night?
mhm.
Every night like clockwork, the network shut down.
Yep, sure did.
Static come on. So then we got to a point where they did away with that and came up with digital TV, and you had to get the box to keep your TV program running all fucking night. Why was that? Because
All
guess what?
night
At
long.
midnight, guess what? At midnight, here's the kicker, y'all. The program started out. They got a little smarter though. The program started out. We'll cloud their mind up all day long, y'all. But we got to give them back that midnight. At midnight we got to shut it down and let them regroup. Hell no, not no more. And if you notice, ever since they changed and took away the TV and started this cable and satellite shit where your TVs just stay on all the time and don't shut down for no static, people are more crazy as hell. They more chaotic. They are more dysfunctional. They are more disoriented because
That's
all
true.
they're doing is watching damn infomercials. More shit to make you spend more money. Understand what I'm saying? At least they did. Look, at least they did give us back some of us at
Hmm.
midnight. So from midnight until I don't know what time did the TV start running again? 7 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. But at least you did. You got 8 hours.
5 a.m. with the 5 a.m. news.
There you go.
I just
You got,
dated myself.
they gave you 8 hours to go back home. And when I say go back home, I mean to go back into yourself, to go within. Now,
Right.
you can't go to sleep at night without a TV.
Mhm.
You didn't have a damn choice. Either you're going to listen to static, and static is like white noise, which helps you
White
tap
noise.
into, you tapping into, okay? You tapping into your spiritual self with the static. Well, if you don't got static and you got this chatter, your mind is always chatter. Why the hell you think we can't meditate now? Back in the day, your mother used to make you go outside and you had to stay out there till the streetlights came on.
You ain't lying.
In nature
Be
though.
hot.
You had to. It was in nature.
Yep, yep.
Vibrated on higher levels back then. Now the kids don't even want to go outside. They just want to sit in front of the TV. They want to play video games. My children want to do that. And I'm like, oh no. Like, no, we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And it's a part of a child don't want anything that they don't know about. If you
Yep.
don't introduce a
That's
child to certain things, they're not gonna want that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Once you introduce it to them, and here's the thing, that's our programming. We don't want to take responsibility for that. That's too much for y'all. Okay. Y'all don't want to take the responsibility that you provided the TV, you let it stay on, you turn it on whatever channel it's on, and you let that's us. That's us programming that shit into other people. And yes, I'm
Mm.
referencing children as other people because that's what they are. They're angels. They're angels that got pulled down. We
Right.
are programming them into this dysfunctional shit that's going on down here instead of helping them maintain what they were already doing when they got here. Because you can do
Right.
that. You can come down and still maintain
Right.
within this matrix. You understand what I'm saying? I watched a video from this lady, and I can't remember her name, y'all, but when I find it out, I'm going to type it down in the comment section. She's from Alabama, and she talks about matrix children. They do exist. There are children that are the matrix children, and they are here on purpose to do just what they're doing to keep your ass distracted.
Wow.
Okay? Yeah, your red bottom shoes, your bundles. Now, don't get me wrong, because look, I mean, this ain't my dreads, but at the end of the day, you know the things that you put on, you understand that those things do not define you. They don't make you up.
Right.
It does not mean that you cannot be beautiful and enhance the beauty that you have. That's what we are.
Right.
We're women supposed to do that.
Right.
What it means is that don't let that consume your thought process and think that the shit is real. It's
Mm.
not. You bought the hair. It's not real.
Right.
It's synthetic. Let's get that together. You understand what I'm saying? The shoes have Louis Vuitton's name on it, not yours. So understand what you're doing. That's all. Now
I know that's right.
let's go into the mother, the woman presence, the woman issue, the women. It started with you. It was you first. If they can program you, we have programmed the whole nation. But you fell for the okie doke. So did I.
Right.
Till I woke my fat ass up and said, "Hold up,
Girl.
hold up, wait a minute." If you could condition and program a mother, then you have just conditioned the whole entire nation. Us, just
God
like my
dog it.
sister, our matrix, our womb is a matrix because you don't just birth bodies in here. You birth thought processes. You birth magic in here. You understand what I'm saying? Understand that as a woman, you're going to have to deprogram your mind because everything that you do and every way that you are is a part of what you were taught. It was all a part of the plan.
That's true.
So don't be, I mean, here's the thing, don't beat yourself up and don't be mad. And please don't be mad at nothing I'm saying because everything that I'm saying is in love. This is in truth. But I will tell you that at the moment that I realized what I'm telling you, when I realized when that got downloaded to me, because nobody told me, I did not read this anywhere, I didn't watch a YouTube video, it got downloaded to me.
Mm-hmm.
I cried. Like it took me a minute to really absorb that. And like I went into a funk. I went into a depression because I was like, what the hell have I been doing all this time? Like, are you fucking kidding me? And guess what? Spirit said, no, I'm not kidding you at all. Just wake up, brush that shit off, get your little dust and dust yourself down, go take a spiritual bath, cleanse your energetic, levels, get your auric field together, and let's do this. Just like you go to the store and buy these game systems, this is a game, but you got to know how to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when you when you put that disc in that game system, it comes up with a simulated game first that you can sit there and watch the computer play. You got to understand that that's what's really happening. It's not
Right.
you are playing a game in a game, and in order to master the game that you're playing, you got to know what you're playing. That's it. The whole thing is that it's so many of us playing the game. They think that this is real. This is real. Like they think they really are waking up every day. They think they really are drinking a cup of coffee. They think that this is real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
That's
That is
true.
true.
That is true.
You know, guys,
You know,
one
guys.
thing that I think that's important for you to really get out of this. And we're definitely going to do some more because the more you talk about it, it's just like, but that angle, but that angle. So if right now you're thinking, okay, it's about 5 angles they didn't catch, or it's like, well, why didn't they talk about this part? Trust me, we're going to come back to it. But one thing is important for you to get out of this is just to realize that, it's a reason why mainstream religions try to teach us that someone's going to come to save us. They do that so that we're always waiting versus taking action. Okay, now I will say this because I'm the first person to talk about how this is a system, it's a matrix, it's messed up. But okay, let me say this because it is messed up and it's also beautiful. So it's very imperfect, but it is perfect. It's a construct that's supposed to be here. The problem is not life itself. The problem is what we have allowed life to become because of the powers that we allowed to be. Like right now, I could say to you, okay, that we could save, the world if we just stop going to, say, Walmart. Okay, we'll use that. I'm not saying that because Walmart is great. Walmart is my friend. Okay. I like Walmart. Okay, but I'm saying, let's just say I said that. Some of you would immediately think of all the inconvenience of that. And then you would immediately feel, and you will look at how big it is. And you would say, I'm just one person, so I'm not going to do it. I've heard people, how sometimes I forgot what the last boycott was. They called for a boycott on something. And so I heard people talking about the boycott in real time. And they were saying stuff like, well, it ain't going to do me no good if I stop doing it. Everybody ain't going to stop doing it. You ain't got to worry about everybody else. You only have to be responsible for your decisions. See, here's the thing, energetically, understand this, that you are an energetic being and everything is energy. Okay, so just being an energetic being is not special because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm an energetic being, like you're something special. Everything is energetic being, baby. Your glass plate. It doesn't matter if it's something repurposed by man. That's another thing. One day I'm going to get into that too. When people be talking about, oh, that's natural. Oh, that's man-made. Man has not made anything. Man has repurposed many natural things and put them together in all kind of different ways and created all kind of compounds. But everything that he did, not created, made, everything that he did it with what was already here. Okay. We didn't, oh girl, I don't even want to talk about it. Okay. So, but my point to that, my point to that is that, it's not about how much everybody else is going to do. You making a decision and committing to a certain thing changes the energetic frequency all around you because you are an energetic being. The energy that you carry on a day-to-day basis has infected everything in your life, everything and everybody. So how you are, your couch is that way. Your couch carries your signature. Your glasses carry your signature. Your fork carry your signature. Your shoes carry your signature. All of that stuff carry your signature. Imagine, now think about this, because some of us, we just so, oh my God, we so good energetically. We cannot be around no low energetic being, not even for 5 seconds. I just don't want to mess up my energy. It's kind of like, damn, if it's that sensitive, which bad energy, whatever's the strongest is going to win. So if your energy that weak, then keep running by all means. Okay. But what I'm saying is, it's like people are so energetically aware at certain times, but not when it counts. It's like, so my energy is so important that you can't be my friend anymore because, I don't like your energy. You think that it's cool to drive a Ford Taurus. And I'm kind of beyond that now because I have a Maserati. So, we're totally not on the same level. And it's like, you're there, right? But when it comes to changing the energetic vibration or the feel of this world, all of a sudden, oh, I'm just one person, it doesn't matter if I drink water or not. It doesn't matter if I boycott this business or not. I mean, I'm just one person. Everybody's not going to do it. It's just like, we got to realize that it's all a game with us when we're doing that. It's a lot of people contact me all the time. A lot of you might have contacted me and asked me for a reading and probably felt like I was cold to say no. I read energy well. And some
Mm-hmm.
of you, you say you want to change, but it ain't that you want to change. You want everything around you to change. You're looking for a quick fix, like a spell. Can you give me some energy? Can you show me how to control other people? Yes, I can. Get in control of yourself. Can you show
Mm-hmm.
me how to change this and this and that? Yes, I can. Heal yourself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This video is not really about anybody outside of you. It's all about you. You, that energetic brand called whatever you are. Whatever you are right now is because of whatever you've chosen to be. And whatever you will be tomorrow is because of what you're choosing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that will continue. And nobody can save you. There is no Jesus that can save you from yourself, no ascended masters, no Buddhas, no nothing, not even the Most High that can save you from yourself, because you have been given dominion. Not dominion over your man and his this and that and your kids and all this, dominion over you. You don't even have dominion over your man or your kids or your wife or your parents. You ain't even got dominion over your money because it's not yours, even when it's in your hand. Money owns itself. It's its own vibration and energy.
It's his own
Its
entity.
own currency. Okay, exactly. And some of you are slaving for it. It's your slave master. Okay. All you got
You better.
is you, baby. That's all you got.
That's it.
Now, when you see that, you kind of decide, shit. Well, if all I got is me, let me redirect my energy. Because I'm effing up. Effing up. I thought I had my kids. I thought I had my husband. People die even if they don't leave you. People disappoint even when they trying. And
Yep.
in all of that, they could want you to be the superhero of the world and have every single thing, good thing, and never have a bad day and all that kind of stuff. But they can't make that happen for you. Only you can.
Mm-hmm.
Since you want to close us out with some whatever.
Yeah. I think what I would say is, yes, this video was meant to be about self-abandonment. And we kind of touched on, like my sister said, we went into like 5 different directions. But I think it was 5 different directions to start with,
Yeah.
because I'm almost certain that we will start getting some feedback from this, which will help us, which will help lead us into where this conversation is going to go next, because this ain't the last conversation about self-abandonment. What I will say is that, remember this movie. And just think, every Friday movies come out. If your movie was coming out on Friday, would it be something that people would want to see? Because like my sister said, it's not about everybody else around you. It's about you. In your movie, you're not in their movie. They're in your movie. And they're in your movie because you put them there. And you put them there because it was some shit about yourself that you was trying to work on. You don't remember this because of the programming. But just remember that this is your movie. You are the director. You are the author of it. Nobody else is doing that. However, we have given those roles to other people because we didn't want to take the role ourselves. So you cannot be mad at whatever outcomes that came across your life path because you gave them damn roles. You assigned people and didn't even get them paychecks. They came in your life for free and turned some shit upside down. And then you stand there looking with the stuck mouth like, what the fuck just happened?
That's
that
true.
person.
I've been there.
Look at it like that. Here's the thing. Your life is a business. I'm sorry to tell you that. But in the government's eyes, you are a business. You understand? You make them money. Just remember, every day you wake up, say, this is my movie. What part am I going to write today? And then you got to think to yourself, you know, the movies come out on Friday. So is my movie ready to come out on Friday, or do I still got some work to do before I can put this out to the masses? Because here's the thing. Even like us and my coven sisters, we have created this group for other goddesses who are going through the fire, who are currently in fires, and who have died and came back already. We created that. But guess what? This is our movie. We created that. We didn't call somebody else. We didn't let nobody else come in and say, you know what, y'all should do a coven. We created that. And guess what? Whatever comes from it is because what we put into the movie. We
Right.
are writing. Understand what I'm saying? Just know that you got to do the same thing for yourself. Therefore, when you get to a level within your elevation that you come to that realization, you will no longer blame nobody else, and it won't be nobody else's fault. You won't be miserable no more. You'll walk around
Mm.
happy and peace. And you will always be unconditionally loving because you have realized that this was your movie.
Yeah.
Something went wrong in it, it's because you gave that pen and paper to somebody else and let them write it for you.
Mm. That's so deep. That's so powerful. Yeah, I'm not gonna add anything to that, guys. I'm gonna let it ride on that because that's something for you guys to take home. This is your movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, like my sister said, you assigning roles. It's all up to you. I love you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. If you would, be sure to subscribe both here and at Eclectic Crystal Intuitive Guide YouTube. And also check out our other coven sister, Crystal Williams, and she's Oshun I Set My Eye. And we have a group on Facebook called Witchy World. And we also have a goddess group on Google Plus called Living Goddesses. So definitely check us out. We're always teaching. We do a lot of free stuff. That's why it gets so offensive when people take advantage because we're always giving. All of us are always giving. And and also you can look us up on Facebook. My sister there is Witchworks WYTCH. WURKS. And I'm Lacresha Hayes Rayno, which that page I think is full again. I do list cleaning though, but you can add me on M Rain, my M Rain page. That's EMME Rain. And guys, another thing I want to say is that if you guys don't mind, what we would like for you to do is stuff like this, start sharing it, because sometimes most of the times I'm pretty good at sharing and marketing videos, but now that I'm doing so many readings, I'm not sharing like I should. So if you enjoyed this, share it to your page, share it to your favorite group, and we will appreciate it. Tweet it. I don't guess you can Snapchat it, but snap a link to it or whatever they do over there, and we will appreciate it. We love you guys. Y'all go have a very, very, very blessed and peaceful and prosperous night.
Love you guys.